When you think of the monsoon, what do you usually think of? You think of rain, lightning, thunderstorms, and excessive heat. But one thing that gets overlooked sometimes is the power of wind. Thunderstorms during monsoon season can send out very strong winds from what is called a downburst. It comes from the base of the cloud, and a lot of times, a lot of rain comes with it as well. So here today, we're going to be talking about what is a downburst and how is it impactful during the southwestern American monsoon. Once the thunderstorms have developed and matured, they develop what's called an updraft, a very intense area of rising air within the cloud. As the air parcels continue to rise, they continue to build upon the thunderstorm, reaching heights as high as 50 to even 60,000 feet. And whenever you have air that rises that quickly, it's going to try to descend as quickly. So what happens when we have the updraft and the downdraft occurring together in a tight space? The downdraft will then begin to overtake the updraft, potentially killing the thunderstorm over a short period of time. But with all the energy and all the moisture in the cloud, that has to go somewhere. So what happens is that the storm begins to collapse in on itself, and that downdraft that we've been talking about comes down in one fell swoop. And when it hits the ground, the cool, dense air splats, hitting the ground and running out from all sides and directions, creating what is called an outflow boundary, an area of what could be very intense wind. Sometimes you can see winds 50, 60, and in the strongest storms, even up to 100 miles per hour, creating damage, and sometimes because of the cool, dense air forcing the warm, moist air that's around it to develop even more showers and storms, creating a cycle which could last for several hours during the summertime. What can you do to prevent yourself from getting impacted by these downbursts? Well, one of the first things is to always keep an eye on the sky. Pay attention to the forecasts and listen to all of your local forecasts from National Weather Service. Pay attention to even your local media, as they'll be covering a lot of these storms that impact your local area. So one of the best practices during the monsoon season is to bring in anything that could become a projectile, any loose articles like trash cans or any inflatable devices that could end up being victim to a strong downburst in your area. Now that we've gone over the science, let's talk to someone who might have some familiarity with the downburst potential, like one of our local officials in the area.
We are with Mr. David Hall. He's with National Park Service out in Carlsbad Caverns. Today we're going to be talking about some monsoon awareness, talking about the downburst potential with monsoons. What are some ways you feel we can all help the community feel protected when there is a risk of strong thunderstorms, especially those with those downburst potentials?
Well, I think communication for our area specifically, we're kind of on the edge, and we can confirm the weather that's coming in. And one of the unique things about our weather is it's isolated thunderstorms, and they are so random at times. And just having good communication with the weather service, we try and report what we're seeing locally, so they can then determine what they're seeing on the radar is really what's occurring. When you're out and about, it's extremely important to pay attention to the weather. Just because it's not raining where you're at doesn't mean you won't be affected by that thunderstorm. Looking at the drainages, being aware of your local environment is very important. The Guadalupe Mountains specifically is 20 plus miles of mountain range, and it can be raining a long ways away and carry that water down the drainage. So when those warnings are issued, pay attention to them. We do at the park because, like I was saying earlier, we're responsible for the public safety also. So we really have appreciated the cooperation and work with the Weather Service.
Music bed.